Hey, what's going on, Pats Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Cans Pats Talk Patriots podcast. Today's a Monday. Got a special guest on today. We're going to talk some NFL. We're going to talk some NFL news. Might get into a little bit of the draft, some of these off-season moves, and of course, we're going to talk about the 2025 season, man. What's going on first? Before I let my guest in, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the Sportsline Media because the show is powered by the Sportsline Media. So make sure you are subscribed to them. Make sure you share the content too, man. I really appreciate it. Head over to the top, hit the subscribe button for the Cans Pats Talk Patriots podcast. Sunshine, what's going on with you, bro?
Yo, what's happening? Let me flip this real quick. Well, it must have done this while we were waiting.
What's going on? What's the news?
Chilling, man, chilling. We're we just wrapped up tonight talking about the Quinshon Judkins stuff, the wide receiver 2 holdout as it pertains to the NFL and its second round draft picks. We've got quite a few guys still holding out due to the Jaden Cat out of Houston signing with fully guaranteed contract. Now you have Trey Harris over with the I don't know why it's doing this. Trey Harris over with the Chargers, who is now holding out officially. He's the first official holdout. So expect a lot more second rounders. So that includes Eagles safety Andrew Makuba, who has not yet signed a contract. Expect him to get signed here in the next few days. I don't expect him to be a big holdout, but he has not signed yet. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on.
For the Patriots, I mean, we got Travion Henderson running back at Ohio State. He's holding out a lot of these second rounds. So it's they said something about, I guess, I see a lot of people talk about, I mean, they wait for the first one to sign, and then I think it's gonna be like a domino effect. Everybody else is gonna go. So we just in the wait and see mode. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I don't think it's gonna bleed into the regular season or not even to deep in the training camp. It might go like within like the first week of training camp. But I think after that, a lot of these guys are gonna start getting signed. What you think?
Agreed. I think that their pocketbooks can't really afford to not go ahead and hit the sign button. I'm gonna put this thing up sideways because it keeps doing it. But I don't think that I don't think, like I said, they can afford to it. I think that it kind of depends, right? A lot of these guys are coming from a new era in college football, in my opinion, that kind of have them wanting to get paid right now. And I talked about it earlier. I think that, if I'm an NFL GM, right? If I'm the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles and a guy that has zero playing experience in the NFL, hasn't proved himself at all, comes to me and he's talking about, I want guaranteed money, because we all know guaranteed money goes further in the cap. As an NFL GM, you got to ask the question, what have you done for my franchise that leads me to believe that I want to pay guaranteed money for you? You haven't done anything yet, right? And I mean, good on the Texans and the Browns for signing, Carson S. His last name's a nightmare to pronounce, but Carson S., linebacker for the Browns, and Jaden Higgins, both signed guaranteed deals, which is unprecedented for a second-round draft pick in the NFL. Both of those guys signed guaranteed deals with their teams. Great. They trust him. Awesome. If I'm an owner and you have done zero on the NFL playing field and you're asking me for guaranteed money, I think I'd have to take a quick pause. So it comes down to how much you trust these young guys who haven't played anything. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day.
Let's move on to some breaking news that happened a few hours ago. Garrett Wilson, a wide receiver one for the New York Jazz, it came out about 3 or 4 years ago, Ohio State University. I think he's a number one, signed a 4-year deal for $130 million. How you feel about the deal? Is he worth all that? Did they overpay for, or is it right at what he's worth?
I think it's right at where he's worth, right? You look at Garrett Wilson, who's had multiple different quarterbacks during his time with the New York Jets. He's recorded 1,000 yards in each of his 3 seasons as a pro. He just came off of an 1,100-yard, 7-touchdown season, and now he's getting a 4-year, $130 million contract with $90 million guaranteed. I mean, he's the 5th highest paid receiver in the NFL right now. That's good for 5th. He has surpassed AJ Brown because that's right at $32.5 million. I think that Garrett Wilson has proven he could be that guy. Do I think he's a top 5 receiver?
I want to say top 5. No, not top 5.
No. God, no. But I mean, 1,000 yards each season in the last 3 seasons with 7 different quarterbacks.
It's crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
He put up 1,000 yards with Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Aaron Rodgers. We're about to get into Aaron Rodgers here shortly.
Yep,
let's see what he did. We see him and Justin Fields had a little bit of camaraderie when they was at Ohio State. So let's see how he does this year with Justin Fields being a starting quarterback for the Jets. But I think his season. We ain't talked about it because the Jets have been so bad, but he's been quietly being pretty good.
Absolutely. I think he's the bright spot, right? He's the bright spot with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers had a lot of positive things to say about the young kid. He's very, very young, which is a plus, right? He's still 3 years in the NFL. He's still got a lot of time in front of him. I think he's a great route runner. He's a deep field threat. We've seen him make some pretty incredible catches. I think that, you enter Justin Fields, they have good chemistry dating away all the way back to Ohio State. Can that chemistry come out? Because we've seen Justin Fields has struggled the last few years where he's been at his last stop with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's interesting to see if Aaron Glenn can get that team turned around, right? It's a brand new team, essentially. A lot of new people in the building. Love what Aaron Glenn's doing. Love that he's building through the trenches. Excited to see what the Jets can become.
I want to see how he does this year with Fields coming in, new system. You ain't played with Justin Fields in a while. You're really the only option on the offense. I mean, who's staying up at night for Allen Lazard? We don't know what Malachi Corley is going to be yet. Who will? I mean, I don't know what the tight end. They got the tight end out of LSU, Taylor. So they got him, but
I'm excited for Mason Taylor.
Yeah. But I mean, he's a rookie though. He's a rookie, so you don't know what to expect from right now. Injuries, offensive line, a lot they can play a factor. Brees Hall, he's in a contract year. Sauce Gardner in a contract year. So they still it's crazy. They hit on those 3 picks right there. Brees Hall, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson. I think Tremaine Johnson. I think came out that draft too. They got 4 studs out that draft. So they got 1 there, and then they got 3 to go. I think I'm hearing Brees Hall might get traded. I think they're going to sign Sauce pretty soon. Probably, if not before the season, definitely probably during the season. They probably get Sauce some money and whatnot. So, what you think about the Jets' future?
Right now,
they got talent. I think they're probably one of the most talented teams in the AFC East.
100%. I think that right now the Jets are in too much of limbo for us to say, oh, they're going to be great or they're going to be bad. I mean, Aaron Glenn's got a giant job in front of him. He's got to rebuild from the bottom up. He's got to change the culture in New York to his fitting style. I think that we're going to see a very different Jets team than we have in the past. I'm more excited for Aaron Glenn in New York than I am for Ben Johnson out in Chicago because I think that Aaron Glenn brings a mentality to the team, right? He's building through the trenches. He wants to play hard-nosed football. He's got a good defense. When you look at the Jets, man, the Jets have been very good defensively. You have one of the best interior defensive linemen out of Alabama. What's his name? Quentin Williams. You got Quentin Williams. Yeah. You got Sauce Gardner, who's often talked in the top 5 conversation as it pertains to cornerback at the NFL. He had a down year last year. Prior to that, was a top 5 corner in the NFL a year ago. And like you said, Jermaine Johnson and some of these other names, you have C.J. Mosley retire. That kind of hurts you a little bit. But I'm excited. I think the Jets' future is bright. Right now, I do think that they're at 3rd or 4th in your guys' division. I think right now the division's solely, obviously, it's the Bills' division to lose. But excited to see what the Jets can do, right? I think that they got better, but I think your Patriots got a little bit better too.
Appreciate it, man. It's going to be interesting to see. Moving on to a team that the Jets are going to see week 1, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got Aaron Rodgers. What you think the ceiling is for this team? Me personally, I mean, like I said on the previous host, Tomlin will get you 8-9 wins. Yeah, he get you 8-9 wins. I think they brought Aaron Rodgers to be the final, like just play his part. He don't have to be the total and just do more than what Russell Wilson did last year. I think Rodgers can do that. I think they can win maybe 9-10 games. I don't think it'd be bad. I don't think it'd be because with the Jets, like that Jets team was more talented than what he's working with the Steelers. It's a whole lot more talented. So I think right now with the Steelers, I like the Jonnu Smith. I think they need one more wide receiver opposite DK Metcalf. We're waiting to see what Calvin Austin gonna do. How they going to replace Najee Harris? I know they got Jalen Warren. They drafted Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. So I like that, but I still think they need more of the offensive line. You got a 42 years old Aaron Rodgers behind there. Offensive line got to be in sync. The defense is old. You got Hayward, TJ Watt, Ramsey. They got rid of Minka. So I think this team be a Super Bowl team 3 or 4 years ago with the pieces they got now. But I think they're older now and they're in a tougher division. What do you think the Steelers ceiling is for this year?
Man, you hit the nail on the head. I think that a lot of people don't realize that the Steelers are not that big of a jump from the Jets. Like, you're trading Garrett Wilson for DK Metcalf. And then outside of that, right, you got Pat Freiermuth, who's a decent possession tight end. for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought Jalen Warren did a lot of good things. Thought he was better for the
He's a
Steelers
lot
than
more
Najee.
explosive than Najee Harris. Yeah.
100%. Thought he did a lot of better things than Najee. I think Najee's going to flourish with the Chargers, but that's a whole nother conversation. I think that, like you said, the offensive line's pretty good, but not great, right? It's along the same lines as what they had in New York. I thought the defense in New York was better at times, specifically against the run. Like you said, you got TJ Watt, who, by the way, still hasn't signed back with him yet. But he's outside of TJ Watt. What do you have, right? Like, I think that the Steelers weren't great against the run. The only thing the Steelers really did great was get after the quarterback. So I think that, you add Ramsey. He's old. I get that he's still playing at a high level, but he is older. You bring in Darius Slay, who just came off of his statistical best year in Philadelphia, one of his statistical best years, being in Philadelphia at his age.
He's older, though. He's older.
I think that he can still bring a lot to the table, but is he gearing you up for the long haul? No. I think that in that division, the Ravens are obviously running the division. I think that the Bengals have if the Bengals can get just better on I'm not even saying they have to be good, just better defensively. I like Joe Burrow to take the Bengals to a better season than we've seen a year ago. I mean, they were 9-8 and they were horrible defensively. I think that could be a 10-11 win team if they
Crazy they was in it down to the wire. They could have made it playoff.
They had no business even being in the conversation. They were a Denver loss in Kansas City away from having Kansas City fans a little nervous. So I think that, Aaron Rodgers comes in, doesn't really move the needle for me in Pittsburgh. I don't necessarily know that he gets you that many more wins than Russell Wilson did. So time will tell. Maybe I'll be proved wrong, but it doesn't move the needle for me. I still have him at, that second, third place in the AFC North. I really think the Bengals can make a push.
Browns either, man. I know it's the Browns and whatnot, but you don't know what the quarterback going to be. They have a defense. They got some talent on the offense. You got Jerry Jeudy. They had a solid draft. They got the Quinshawn Judkins. He got his situation going on. We ain't got to get into that. But I think, if Shedeur starts, who knows? I mean, he got a chip on his shoulder. Who knows what the Browns can be? I'm not saying they're going to win the division or even win 8-9 games, but those divisional opponents always can be tough.
You got to think, too, the Browns play pretty competitive in the AFC North. I mean,
that's what I just said, yeah.
Yeah, they took the Ravens to a one-score game, had the Steelers in a one-score game. I mean, divisional opponents, all bets are off when it's a divisional opponent, right? You see each other so much that you're so familiar with what you're trying to do. So I'm not writing the Browns off, per se. Do I think are they going to be a bottom dweller in the NFL? Probably, but I would like to see Shedeur get some reps. I thought he's done a really good job at camp. Joe Flacco's not the future of Cleveland. He's just there now so that they have a guy there. I think they're waiting to see if Shedeur can be that guy, and I think you give him a chance, right? You drafted him. You got him and Dylan Gabriel. I think Kenny Pickett will probably get the boot by the time.
And what you got to lose? You got a first-round pick next year that you traded back with Jacksonville. Like you got some capital next year.
Exactly.
Maybe Arch Manning if he comes out. Same for the Steelers. They got a lot of picks next year, and the draft is going to be at Pittsburgh. Going to be in Pittsburgh next year. So Browns and the Steelers are two interesting teams to look out for this year, man.
Absolutely. I think that, the Steelers, I'll say this. Do I think the Steelers are going to be a deep playoff team? No. Do I think they can be a wild card playoff team like they were a year ago? Yeah. I mean, like you said at the very beginning, Tomlin's going to probably guarantee you a spot in the playoffs. The problem with Tomlin and Pittsburgh right now is Pittsburgh fans are tired of just making the playoffs, right? Yeah, they want to win. They want to get to an AFC championship. They want to get to a divisional champ. I don't know. It's just Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL, but he has got to start getting his guys into deeper playoff runs.
Who is your sleeper team in the NFL this year? I'm going to start with mine. I'm going to go, I think the Carolina Panthers. I like what the Panthers did in the draft. They got Ted Miller. I wanted him in New England. They got Leggett coming back. Now he's going to be number 2. I think Bryce Young, he responded well from the benching last year. They drafted 2 pass rushers. They had a solid draft, solid offseason. I want to see how they replace Shaq Thompson there at linebacker. I think their linebacker core could use some work, and maybe at the pass rush. I like J.C. Horn at corner. But I think with Canellis there commanding the offense, I think the Panthers. Now they ain't going to win 10, 12 games. Well, they might, but they ain't going to go there. They ain't going to make no deep playoff run. But I think they can be. We're going to look back and be like, the Panthers were pretty good this season. Who's your sleeper team this year?
I'm glad you said it. I mean, the Panthers.
They in a weak division too. You got the Falcons. I like Michael Penix, but need to see more. And the Falcons had a good draft too. Tampa Bay, they kind of banged up right now with Tristan Wirfs being out. Who else? The Saints. Saints probably gonna be the last team in the division. I think Carolina can make some noise this year.
Yeah, I like Carolina. That's a good one. It's not the one I'm going to go with, but to your point, I think that Carolina definitely is going to shock some people. I thought the defense looked much improved towards the end of last season, and we started to see the Bryce Young that we know, can be an NFL guy, right? Because we're still waiting on that moment where we're like, all right, this is the guy that was the first overall pick, right? This is who we want to see.
Well to the benching.
100%. I think that Carolina is a very good one. It's not who I'm going to go with, but I am going to go within the division. But go with the Atlanta Falcons, right? A year ago, the Atlanta Falcons were a consistent quarterback play away from being a bona fide playoff team, right? You start off, 6-2, 6-3, something like that. They beat us. They beat, a couple of really good teams. They had Tampa Bay, took care of Tampa Bay both times. Somehow, I don't know how you beat Tampa Bay twice and still lose that division. That's insane to me. I think that their pass rush is going to be significantly better. You bring in guys like James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker in that defense.
Real good draft.
Very good. I mean, James Pierce Jr. is exactly what you want out of a guy. You don't need him to be a tool-all player right now. You can just have him pin his ears back and get after quarterbacks. I think Jalen Walker brings a lot to a linebacker room that needs a little bit of assistance. And Michael Penix being a consistent part of because Atlanta looked great with Michael Penix at times. Now, is he perfect? No, but they took a Washington Commanders team late in the year, not early in the year. I'm talking about when the Commanders were hitting their stride. They took an NFC champion Washington Commanders team to the literal brink in overtime. So I think that, I'm excited to see Michael Penix be there and give consistency to the Atlanta Falcons.
They are loaded on offense too. They got some talent.
So Drake London, Bijan Robinson. 100%. I think that the Falcons are going to be a 12-win football team. I have them and the Buccaneers fighting it out. I have the Buccaneers at 11-6, 10-7, somewhere where they were, because I agree with you. I think the Buccaneers are kind of beat up right now. I think people are giving them a little bit too much credit. And then I think the Panthers definitely surpassed the Saints. Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in football next season. So I got the Panthers in that third place spot. I have them at 8-9. I think that's going to be an 8-win football team.
Yeah, okay. What team you feel this year is going to be? Every year it's a team that takes a step up, team takes a step back. What team do you think this year is going to be that team to take a step back? So probably go from worst to first, or might be a playoff team and not be in the playoffs. Who's going to be that team this year that takes a step back?
It's a really good question. There's a lot of teams. I mean, obviously, I've talked heavily, but due to the Washington Commanders being in our division on the pod. It's not the team I'm going to go with, but I do think the Commanders are one of those teams to look out for. I have them dropping from 11-6 to 9-8. I think that the schedule is significantly harder, and film exists on Jaden Daniels now. Now the question is, I mean, did you see the NFL top 10 executive list today?
Yes,
yeah, Jaden Daniels top 5 after a season of football.
Already giving him his belt, his crown.
Yeah, they gave him the flowers, the belt, the crown, everything but the ring. Anyway, I think the Commanders are a team to look for, but the team that I think is going to take the biggest step back in terms of what we've seen from this previous year to this next year, Minnesota Vikings. Okay, the Minnesota Vikings were a 14-3 team, right? They were great. Okay. Defense was incredible. Brian Flores is one of the best defensive minds in football. Blitzes very heavily. Very good at getting pressure on quarterbacks. You remove Sam Darnold. I wasn't a big Sam Darnold fan. I knew he wasn't a playoff quarterback. Didn't know, but I knew that Sam Darnold wasn't going to perform when the lights were brightest, but still got you 14 wins. Now you bring in a rookie quarterback, essentially, didn't play at all a season ago, in JJ McCarthy. Now, do I think JJ McCarthy has the tools? Absolutely. But do I think he can do any better than Sam Darnold? Time will tell. He hasn't played at all. You still have Aaron Jones, so the run game can be consistent. But your season, if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, rides on whether or not J.J. McCarthy is that guy or not. Because if he comes out and has rookie problems, who's going to be throwing the football? It's not Sam Darnold.
And they could have had Aaron Rodgers. They could have had, some other options too.
They passed on Aaron and said, you know what, we're going to trust our rookie. And I can respect that, because if JJ comes out and balls and has, the Minnesota Vikings in the conversation of the North, maybe so. But I have them taking a giant step back from 14-3 to 8-9. I think they have a very, very daunting schedule. The NFC North and the NFC East both have very daunting schedules this upcoming season. I do see the Vikings taking a gigantic step back. I could be wrong, but I mean, you're going from a guy that has NFL experience that performed great to a rookie. Now, Justin Jefferson helps in that endeavor, right? It's going to help him get.
He got a crazy supporting cast. I don't think talent going to be the issue. That if he I don't think so. Because you got Jefferson, Adams. I'm not Addison. You got
Hawkinson.
Two good running backs. You got your tight end, offensive line, a great play caller. and Kevin O'Connell. So he got everything there. I wish Drake.
He just needs to execute.
May had that support.
100%. I do think the Vikings take a step back. They're going to be my step back team of the year, and I may have to deal with some deep water for that come the end of the year, but we'll see.
Well, look, don't feel so lonely. I'm gonna stay in the division. I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions. Lost Aaron Glenn, lost Ben Johnson, lost some play calls on defense and offense. They lost their OC too.
Yep.
The division is tough. You got Green Bay. We didn't even talk about Green Bay yet. Jordan Love, they might win the division. You got Minnesota. Well, you said they're gonna take a step back. Chicago, they made a whole lot of additions this year. I think Detroit went to the NFC. The NFC second round last year.
Divisional, they got bounced by the Commanders in the divisional.
So they had a first round bye last year. They got surprised by the Commanders, got shot and lost at home to the Commanders. We're gonna find out a whole lot this year about Jared Goff. Is he the answer long term? What is like 28, 29 probably?
Yeah, he's a little older. Yeah, I think Jared Goff.
We're gonna find out, like, was it Ben Johnson or what? Because McVay got rid of him for a reason. Now Ben Johnson's going. Let's see how Jared Goff does this year. He got the talent. You got St. Brown, Williams. You got your tight end. Like, they got some pieces there.
Yeah, you got Gibbs, Montgomery.
Yeah, and he's a statue in the pot. He's not a runner. And we saw what Dan Quinn and Washington that defense did last year. They got after him, made him move. He turned through 3 or 4 interceptions in the playoff game. So they still had a chance to win it in the end or whatnot, but I don't know. Let's see what Jared Goff does without Ben Johnson and without Aaron Glenn being there. I think Detroit's going to take a big step back this year.
I couldn't agree more with you. I think that's a really good team as well. What were they, 15-2 a year ago? Very good football team, high powered. Even with a banged up defense, they were winning football games at the end of the year. They had guys that were on the practice squad starting for them at the end of the year, still winning football games. I think the Detroit Lions are supremely talented. Like you said, got them on St. Brown. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got David Montgomery, you got Sam Laporta, you got all these, you got J-Mo. The defense, when it's healthy, you got Aiden Hutchinson, you got Branch, you got Tyrion Arnold, all these really good guys. I mean, and the offensive line does take a shakeup with the center leaving, but they replaced him with a guy with a little bit of experience. Their left tackle is incredible. Decker, I believe is what, or forget what his name is, but the right tackle, Sewell.
Is it Decker? No, the Decker.
It's Penei Sewell. He's incredible, right? He's a top tackle in the league. The Lions have all of the pieces. And for me, Jared Goff has also fallen into that category of being a guy that he'll go out and get you a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. He'll also commit a lot of turnovers. And I think that he needs to clean that up for the Lions to be better. I have the Lions going, like you, from 15-2 all the way back to 11-6. I do still think that they're so talented that they can get it done in that division. Although, though, you make a good point with the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are making strides. Love needs to be better. I need to see more out of Jordan Love. He needs to be better. The run game needs to be, where it was a year ago. The defense has got to be better against the run. The Green Bay Packers were not good in run defense. That's how we did our damage against them in the playoffs. But they are a physical defense. And I think that plays very well into what Green Bay is trying to do. And now, a receiver in Matthew Golden in Green Bay. Maybe Green Bay can start being more dangerous down the field.
Make sure you guys are sharing the content, sharing the channel, man. I appreciate it. The show is powered by the Sportsline Media. Hit the like button. Make sure you go up and hit the subscribe button on the Kansas Pass Talk YouTube. Appreciate it. Last but not least, I can't believe we done been here about 30 minutes. We ain't even mentioned the Philadelphia Eagles yet. Let's go ahead and get into your team, the Eagles, your Eagles creator. Hey, let everybody know where they can find your channel at.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Sports with Sunshine. We are a Philadelphia Eagle. Let's put it this way. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan at my core. I've been one since I was 10 years old, but we cover the entirety of the NFL as well as other sports. We're starting to branch out now and do the NFL, the NHL. We're going to try to dip into college football a little bit. So Sports with Sunshine is your one-stop shop for all of the happenings in the NFL as well as some other sports areas. So thank you so much for that, Ken. But at the end of the day, I am a Philadelphia Eagle. I try to put my my fandom to the side once the sports time as a professional an analyst. I try to put my my team to the side, but don't get me wrong. On Sundays, it's Go Birds. So
what you feel is the biggest hurdle for the Eagles to repeat as Super Bowl champ? Now you're in a tough division. You got the Commanders. They took y'all to the end last year. You always going back and forth with the Cowboys. Don't sleep on the Giants. I think that defense could be real good. That defense can keep them in the game. Keep them in a lot of games. And we all know the games are closed. You got these good pass rushers. All it takes is a strip sack or pick six, and the game can turn. What is the biggest hurdle for the Eagles in Division One, and then just to repeat as champions?
Yeah, I think so. When you're talking anytime about, playing within the division, the NFC East is a very competitive division. 13 champions amongst all of the NFC East, the most in the NFL. I think that, you know, everybody's competitive. It's like you said, Dallas is competitive year in and year out, and people are giving Dallas all this flack. And I'm an Eagles fan, so it tastes like vinegar in my mouth. But the Dallas Cowboys had a 7-10 year without Dak Prescott. They almost swept the Commanders without Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
When Dak Prescott is healthy and playing, they're always competitive with us. We always split with them when Dak's playing and he's healthy. There is no reason to believe that this Dallas team can't win 11 football games next season. I know they have a hard schedule. I know they look like crap a year ago, but Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. The run game is the only question mark in Dallas right now. If we're being honest, if they can get any kind of a consistent run game, I think Dallas is going to be an 11-win team. I have them at an 11-win team and second in the division. I do think the Philadelphia Eagles can go back to back in the division for the first time since 2004. That's the last time there was a back-to-back divisional winner in the NFC East, and it was the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the biggest challenge is really staying true to who we are, right? We're going to run the football. It's what we want to do. Saquon Barkley's coming off a year in which he eclipsed 2,000 yards and had 345 carries. It's not exactly sustainable, so look for his carries to go down next season.
Y'all lost a lot, too. Y'all lost a lot in free agency, too. Milton Williams to the Patriots. Y'all lost Sweat to the Cardinals, I believe. Lost Slade to the Steelers, so y'all lost a lot.
For sure, 6 starters, right? We lose Slay, you lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Texans, you lose Milton to you guys, you lose Sweat to the Cardinals. You got Isaiah Rodgers going to the Vikings. So, names, you got Mekhi Becton. He's with the Chargers now. A lot of different names that kind of left the Philadelphia Eagles, but in all actuality, Darius Slay's a big loss. CJ Gardner-Johnson was great in terms of what he brought to the field in terms of physicality, but I do think his coverage could be replaced, especially I'm excited for Andrew Makuba. Hopefully we get him signed and get him rolling. I think he can be really good for the
Campbell
secondary.
Too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm. Woo! Let me tell you what, Jahad Campbell. When Jahad Campbell gets on the field, because he hasn't got to touch the field yet due to injury, he will start practice in August full time, and I cannot wait to see what that kid's going to do. But in all actuality, the rookie I'm the most excited for is Ty Robinson. I think Ty Robinson does a lot of things along the defensive line. I think he can be a true number 2 next.
Wisconsin, right?
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. He's a bull. 3 tech, 4 tech. He's a penetrator. He gets, consistent pressure at Wisconsin, specifically at the edge. I think he's going to pair very well with already one of the best interior D tackles in Jalen Carter. Excited to see that. Excited to see this linebacker core. For the first time in a long time in Philadelphia, we can say we got a linebacking core. Excited for Zach Bond to take the reins. Like we said, Jahad Campbell's going to get snaps, and Nakobe Dean will come back healthy. He's already squatting. He's already jump squatting again. So I'm excited to see him getting back to work. Thought that Nolan Smith had an absolutely nuts year a year ago. Looking for him to build on that.
Second half, especially.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking for him to build on that. Reed Blankenship's going to take control of the secondary. You got Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell's got a lot of responsibility this next year, okay? He's going to take over that corner 1 spot where Darius Slay was. He's going to get targeted more often by number 1, so he's going to see more of CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Amon St. Raw.
Did he see CeeDee Lamb last year?
He did. Yep. CD had 26 yards off three catches against him, I believe, in coverage. If my numbers serve me correctly. Quinyon Mitchell has had an incredible year a season ago. I think him and Cooper DeJean are going to be great. Cooper DeJean look for Cooper DeJean to be in that slot, although he has gotten reps at the second boundary corner. So Cooper DeJean during spring camp played at the boundary, in the slot, and at safety. So they have a lot. And for a Vic Fangio defense that's complicated on the back end, I think that they have a lot of trust in Cooper DeJean. I expect to see him in a lot of different spots, but in our base defense, you're going to see him at that second spot. And then, we play a lot of nickel. Vic Fangio does a lot of nickel defense. You're going to see him in that same spot he was in that slot corner with Keely Ringo getting reps at the second boundary. I was just about to ask
you, he's going to be your boundary corner, right? Keely Ringo. It's a great season for him, too.
This is the season where we find out if Keely Ringo belongs in the NFL. When he has gotten chances, he's looked great. Okay, he's looked incredible. But now you get the full driver's seat, right? You're there. You're the guy. So excited to see out of Keely. You also have Eli Ricks. We drafted the kid out of UCF, McWilliams. So I'm excited to see him. I think he's going to play more in the slot, but very excited for this second. In my opinion, for the Philadelphia Eagles to have success in the division and to go back to back as champions, the question mark for the team, in my opinion, are two things. How would the secondary respond to losing two key leaders? Okay, you lose two key leaders in CJ Gardner-Johnson and Darius Slay. How is the secondary going to respond? The other thing, we have to evolve. You can't do the same thing twice and expect to get back to where you were. We were 28th in the NFL a season ago at throwing the football. We should never be that low when you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert all on the same offense. No reason we should ever be that low. Now,
you have to stay healthy.
Right. Yeah, we got lucky we got very lucky a season ago. We were the healthiest team coming into the playoffs, and it showed. I do think Saquon Barkley is going to be incredible again next season. I have him in the 15 to 1,800 yard range. I don't think he's going to go for. People don't realize how difficult it is to go for 2,000 yards. So, I think I have him in that 15, 1,800 range. We're bringing in AJ Dillon, who I think is going to get a lot of snaps. Will Shipley has been very impressive in camps thus far. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to throw the football better if we want to go back to the Super Bowl. Have to. We just have to. And Jalen Hurts. I trust him, right? You know how I feel about Jalen. The world hates him. Everybody else hates him because it's either he's got too much talent or he doesn't throw for enough touchdowns and enough yards. Jalen Hurts wins when it matters. That's all I care about. So he does need to take that next step as a passer. Okay, we got to evolve. We got to get better. He knows that. I'm not worried at all. I think that he's going to do it. If he doesn't, I will give him the same fair critique that I give every other quarterback. But time will tell. I think in terms of the Philadelphia Eagles going back to back in the division as well in the NFL, better passing game. How will the secondary respond?
How you feel about the opener? We're about a little less than 2 months. I got the Cowboys. We just talked about them. They've always been a thorn in y'all tails.
Yep. I'll be in Dallas for that one.
Okay, yeah, you be in that. Yeah,
or not? Philly. Sorry, Philly. Philly on a Thursday. What am I talking about? Good God!
It's crazy because Dak and Hurts barely. It's always something going on. They don't never play each other. It's always one hurt or
never healthy.
One of them got the playoff seed locked. There's always something. So now the NFL did us all a favor putting that game week 1. How you feel about the opener? How you feel about the matchup? They got George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. You just talked about Minshew and Keely Ringo. How you feeling so far? What's your gut feeling about this matchup so far?
Excited, right?
I know you got about 2 months to really get into it, but how you feel right now?
Oh, I'm looking at it now, Ken. I'm locked into this one. This is going to be a great game, right? This is a Thursday night. It's prime time. No other games will be going on. All you'll be watching is one of America's greatest rivalries, the Birds and the Cowboys. I do think the Cowboys are going to be significantly better. We get Dak Prescott healthy, get Jalen Hurts healthy. Now, the Eagles have a tendency to start off slow. Okay, we usually start off slow and try to find our rhythm. I don't think that. I think we need to start off a little bit quicker, but luckily so do the Cowboys. The Cowboys tend to start off a little bit slow. So excited for this one, man. Expect it to not probably be the prettiest football game. Obviously, you're going to be working the kinks out. It's probably going to be sloppy. I'll be pleasantly surprised if we come out and execute at a very high level. I think that it usually takes us a few weeks to get locked in. So something I want to see out of that game is us coming out clean. Don't necessarily need to see 300 yards from Jalen and 250 yards from Saquon. But come out, clean football, no turnovers, right? Cash in on red zone opportunities. That was something a year ago that I thought we did really well, can build upon. And man, it's Dallas for the division, right? This is right off week 1, you get a divisional game with someone you hate, right? You want to punch him in the mouth. It's like you guys in the Bills or you guys in the Dolphins. You get somebody that you can't stand and you want to beat them. And man, I don't think Philly's going to walk away with this one. Okay, chat. Everybody, Ken Pat Talk viewers, Sunshine viewers, I don't think we're just going to come in and stomp these guys. I have us winning by 10. 10 is not a big margin in the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 7-3 type game because of how slow we usually start. But I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles have a very good chance in this game to get off on a hot start. So excited for this one, man. I'm going to be at that one as a fan. Very excited. I'm going to get some fan content, but I will be at that one as a fan. So I'll get to enjoy that with the city of Philadelphia. And that'll be my that'll be my first game in the link and my first game watching the Cowboys.
Hey man, hope you have a great time, man. For real. I hope you do. I hope you have a great time, man. Maybe y'all get the win. We shall see, man.
Excited, man. The tickets are pricey, but it's worth it.
Woo! Tell me about it. Hey, appreciate you coming on, man. Hey, plug your channel one more time before we get off.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate everyone for coming in. If you need any kind of information as it pertains to the NFL, the
What's going on,
Sports
DJ?
Lounge is obviously the place to get it. Me and my man right here, my colleague Ken,
Yes,
cover different
sir.
things in the NFL. Sports with Sunshine has you up to date on everything that's happening in the NFL, as well as some other sports, NHL, college football, specifically the Eagles. We also have Down South Philly Show, the Marshall Experience, and SLM Bets. You can find everything at www.sportsloungemedia.com, where you can find all of these different great shows: Sports with Sunshine, Ken's Pat's Talk, Down South Philly, the Marshall Experience, and SLM Bets. Guys, it's going to be an incredible year for the Sports Lounge. I'm so lucky to have locked arms with these individuals, man. This is the place to get your sports media content on the internet, man. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Go Pats. And I know you. Hey, go Eagles.
Go Birds, man. It's go Birds. I'm excited, Pat. We
Yes,
are 2 weeks out from the first preseason game. Very
crazy,
excited.
man. Hey, y'all hit the like button, share the content. Make sure you all subscribe to the Kansas Pats Talk YouTube. My boy Sports with Sunshine just added his tabs and whatnot. And hey, the show is powered by the Sportsline Media, man. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Go Pats.
Go Birds.